So, a couple months ago, I was scrolling through Twitter late one night looking for some new Goon posts to bookmark. Looking for some new anime recommendations. And then I came across a post that had 3 images that really caught my eye. And it looked like it was like an older kind of retro anime I'd never seen before. Usually when I see like retro anime posts, it's from like City Hunter, like Akira especially. Which are all great, but this one I'd never seen before. So the 3 images, it was someone on a tank with binoculars over what it looked like in an abandoned town. The second image was, and this one really caught my eye, it was a city on the back of a stone turtle flying through space. So Dark City is one of my favorite all-time sci-fi films. And just looking at that image, I was like, it had some callbacks and it reminded me a little bit of Dark City for anyone who's ever seen it. And then the third image was a girl flying through the air, and she had horns and fangs. And I was like, this looks really peculiar. I was like, I've never seen this before. Like, what is this show? So after doing a little bit of digging, I learned that this was a really popular anime series in the 80s based off the really popular manga series in the 70s called Urusei Yatsura. And I had never heard it before. I'd keep doing a little bit more digging, and I'd come to find out, it's from the same creator of Inuyasha. It's the author is Rumiko Takahashi. And I had never heard of this series before. So I keep looking, and I notice, wow, like this is actually like a pretty long-ish series, which a decent amount of the like old retro anime series are like. City Hunter, like I had 150 episodes, but this series had well over 150 episodes. It had like 8 movies. It had all this stuff. I was like, I've never heard of this before. And then when I look up the premise of this series, I was like, this sounds really familiar and definitely inspired more than a couple series. I was like, a series where the princess of an alien empire comes down to space and marries the main character by accident when the main character is already caught up in another love interest. Where have I heard that one before? I'm, of course, for those of you who don't know, I'm talking about the series To Love Ru. This obviously took some inspiration from that, to say the least. And I mean that in a good way for those. I don't mean for those of you wondering. And then also, the girl, Lum, the main heroine of the series, has horns, fangs, and calls her main love interest, Ataru, who's the main character of the series, calls her darling. Now, where have I heard that before? That, of course, is referencing the 02 from Darling in the Franxx. So I was like, wow, this is a pretty influential series. I was like, this is referenced by a lot of different shows, and like, there's a lot of people that seem to have like really liked this series and taken like a lot from it. I was like, so but back to the original source. I was like, seems really cool. I was like, also, the movie, the post I'd seen was based off the second movie of the series called A Beautiful Dreamer. And after doing some more digging, I was like, the director of Ghost in the Shell directed this movie, which is like a pseudo-harem series from the 80s. I was like, what? I was like, I have to watch this. So I was like, I just went ahead and did it. I did basic research for this series. So for those of you who don't know too much about the series, you really don't need to know that much going into the movie. All you really need to know is the main character is Ataru Moriboshi. He's like a lot of kind of harem protagonists. Well, not really, especially not nowadays. But he's he's not too different from Issei. Man just wants a giant harem and wants to basically become like a harem king. He is not shy about that. You don't need to know too much. Him and Lum are in like a pseudo kind of relationship due to him technically having to marry Lum one day so the Earth doesn't get basically taken over. And then there's another girl named Shinobu, who's the girl he kind of likes. But Ataru likes every girl. So, just again, take it like he's a little bit like Issei going in. But again, that Lum's from outer space, and that The rest of the group are just like a bunch of close-knit friends slash rivals, mainly friends with Moriboshi, which is Ataru, the main character. And a lot of them basically just simp for Lum, especially Megane. I love Megane, but my favorite character of the entire bunch is Shutaro Mindao. Mindao is hilarious. Mindao, if I had to imagine a stoic quadrillionaire prince, and that's kind of how I would describe Mindao. Man's basically like a samurai with the fortune of like half the planet. So his family owns like all these companies and places around the world. They have their own private army. And he's like this really stoic, honorable guy. But his family just owns all this stuff. And he's extremely wealthy. Like it mentions in the movie that like there's like 70 plus phones in his house. So the whole movie, I don't want to give away too much without giving spoilers, but I want to sell you the movie like this. So they're about to have this big cultural festival in the movie, and there's all these callbacks to like Godzilla, like all these people, like all the really popular like movies and TV series of the time. All these people are doing series on, are doing like their cultural event on, and then so you have like some alien callbacks in there. There's some Godzilla references from Planet X, the invasion of the Astro Monster, like the alien race and that. There's all these great kind of references in there. And it's extremely stressful on everyone, but they notice slowly that like a little by little that the day that like they keep hearing the phrase, the cultural festival is tomorrow. The cultural festival is tomorrow. And they keep, and a couple of the bigger characters who start to notice like, why am I wearing winter clothes in summer? Why are all the, it's like, why do I feel like something's off? Like, why do I have a feeling like why do I feel overly exhausted like we've been here forever? And you start to notice little by little, and the characters start to notice little by little, the day keeps repeating itself. And they start to notice, as they notice the days repeating itself, they notice that a lot of the city's population slowly is just like, they'll go out on night rides and they'll notice that like none of the lights are on in the entire city. There's no people on the streets. All these weird events happen, like all these crazy, like they'll be crossing the street and all of a sudden this old cultural show will just cross at a stoplight at 2 a.m. And they keep noticing all this strange stuff that happens like throughout, and it slowly unravels into why that to the big, well, it's not big, but to the main, like why it is the way it is. But I would highly recommend anyone watch this show. Again, you don't need to know too much going into it, opposed to the stuff I just mentioned, which again, I barely even knew too much going in. It kind of gets explained to you a little bit just by subtle hints anyways going into the show, but I highly recommend it. This is definitely one I've wanted to do for Top Shelf ever since I saw it. It is one of my favorite anime films. The whole movie kind of feels like a surreal dream. Like, in some movies and shows can feel that way, and it kind of throws you off a little bit. Like, what did I just watch? Like, I like David Lynch, but there's some of his stuff where it's like, what did I just watch? But with this, it feels like a surreal dream. Like, and there's a reason. But in a great way. Like, the whole movie, it has like this, like the first beginning of the first third of the movie has like this really like ominous mystery to it of like what's happening, and then the rest of the movie has this really just vibrant, like kind of relaxed atmosphere to it. I think I saw one review of this once to where, and I agree, for anyone who's ever had a summer in their hometown with a close-knit group of friends, like, you will really appreciate it. It kind of reminds me of the movie itself gives you a little bit of nostalgia, a little bit, but it's great. The whole entire movie feels great. It feels like a surreal dream. There's so many shots in the movie that just feel like you're just like, wow. It's not just the feel of the movie, the atmosphere of the movie, but the score of the movie, but honestly, the visuals, like the movie is very beautifully animated. There's so many stills in the movie that are just gorgeous. The one that stands out in particular is the city, the stone tortoise flying through space. It's a gorgeous film. I would highly recommend you watch it. Again, if you've never seen Urusei Yatsura, you don't need to watch the series going into it. This actually will make you want to watch it. So I watched A Beautiful Dreamer first. I watched a couple of the episodes in the main series, and I'm actually going through like all the movies right now. I think I'm on the third one right now. So this is the second. A Beautiful Dreamer is the second film. So I went back and watched the first movie, and I'm watching the third one right now. And it's great. Like watching this movie will make you want to watch the series in general, and it's honestly just a great film. Even if you just want to watch the film and probably don't want to pick up the series afterwards, I would still highly recommend this. Show. A Beautiful Dreamer is one of my favorite anime films. It's gorgeous. It has this great surreal like kind of vibe like throughout the whole film. The characters are great, and it's definitely very memorable. It's one that I would highly recommend. I've wanted to do this one for a while. I just saw it a couple months ago, and like I still go back and watch it every now and then. It's one of those movies that it makes you want to watch it like again and again, because the whole movie just feels like a little bit of like a surreal, like a crazy kind of dream. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. Again, the film is Urusei Yatsura, A Beautiful Dreamer. I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite anime films. Go into it if you want something that's like a good kind of close-knit group, and like for great visuals. It's got great comedy and just like a really good feel-good relaxing kind of movie with a good kind of mystery behind it. I would highly recommend this film. That's all I got for this one, guys. Again, please check this movie out. I want you to check it out. And if you've already seen it before, let me know what you think of it below, or if you just watched it. Or if you watch it and after you see this, definitely let me know what you think of it below. I love it. I really do. This film is just great. It's one of my favorite anime films of all time. Again, if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought of it below. If you've watched it after this, let me know what you think of it after you end up seeing it. Again, I don't think you'll regret it. It's great. It's one of my favorites of all time. And that's all I got for this one, guys. I'll see you on the next one.